Okay. Turn off this watch. Black men not being stimulated mentally. Um, Quick example. I have exactly 556 uploads. Been doing this, for almost a year and a half. Yeah, almost a year and a half now. Wow. And I have some videos covering different topics, and you can go ahead and look through my library, and then you can look at the amount of views and the number of comments and the type of comments on certain videos. I'm not going to talk about what I was saying, but just go ahead and you use your own observational skills to see what I'm talking about. I think on my channel I've at least did a fair share of work in terms of trying to cover different topics still pertaining to black people that are outside of dating or bigger than just dating, to hopefully bring in both black men and women to hear what they have to say. Now, I'm very thankful for the black women that do address me on other issues not related to dating, whether it's through comments or through PMs. But as far as my contact with the vast majority of black women, they're only centered around certain videos. And even then, the vast majority of their comments aren't even based on the videos. Go ahead and look at my most popular vids and you'll see a trend. And then look at my videos with the least amount of views and look at what's going on. This is the example that I'm talking about in terms of not being stimulated mentally. Now, unfortunately, and I hate to make comparisons, but I'm not saying that non-black women are doing a better job at stimulating black men mentally. But because we come from different worlds, and because there's this level of unknowingness and uncertainty, there will always be this connection, right? What they do is different. What they say is different. What they think about black men has been different in terms of how they've been taught. So there's this whole area of grayness where we don't understand each other. And for a lot of black men, that satisfies our mental stimulation. I'm going to be real with you. It is what it is. A lot of women, you can take it how you're going to take it, but it's just the truth. Okay? Like I said before, in my real life, there's only a handful of black women that I know who are, quote unquote, the professional and educated, that I can actually get good conversation with. That is bigger than just dating. Real conversations, real in-depth type of conversations where we go hard. You know how it is when you go hard on a sort of conversation and topic as opposed to being real surfacey. And rarely do I get that with black women. I get more of those conversations with black men, even though we are outnumbered. But, you can always get a good conversation with another brother who gets it. But with sisters who quote-unquote get it, I don't know how many can actually give you the type of conversation you're looking for. For a lot of women, they're looking for, how can I put it, mannequins, okay? Look good on a physical appearance, may, have some sort of stable employment. But when it comes to his mentality, what's he thinking, right? How does he feel on this topic or this topic? You don't really get the feeling that black women really care. Because a lot of black women don't want to look at the world outside of just being a black woman, right? Everything in my world revolves around me being a black woman, so I am afraid to venture outside of that. I am afraid to be asked a question that doesn't fit into the whole strong black woman framework. Because I can't go into the encyclopedia and pull out some pre-generated response. So in a nutshell, I feel like this area doesn't get talked about. And I think a lot of black women should pay attention because this is something that can be worked on. Like I said before, there's this assumption that all you have to do is satisfy a black man sexually, and that's all he's ever going to want or look for. So when black men cheat, it's just because we're dogs. Or if black men have commitment issues, it's just because they're dogs and they can't control themselves. How about we're not being satisfied mentally? Right? People love to compare black men to dogs, so I run with it. A lot of dogs act up when they're not mentally stimulated. If you've ever had a dog, you know what I'm talking about. You have to challenge them. Give them problems. My dog loves that. And my dog gets bored. He doesn't like to sit around. He wants to be challenged. He likes to play games. Thinking games. I'll do things where I'll have a treat and I'll put it somewhere and he really has to figure out how to get it. Those are the type of games that he likes to play. Right? And my dog's pretty loyal. Why? Because he's satisfied mentally. But as far as black men, we don't really get that. And it's funny because whenever you're dealing with professional men, there's this whole idea of, let me be smart. How many white movies have you seen where it's, the well-to-do, smart, successful white guy, and the white girl wants to get with him, and she's like, oh my gosh, let me brush up on this topic or this subject because he's smart and he's intelligent. But when it comes to black men, it's, let me, show a little skin, and that's all I really need to do. That's wrong. It doesn't work that way. We pride ourselves on being mental thinkers. That's our true value. The true value isn't this whole bullshit Mandingo complex or this bullshit, super duper masculine complex. The true value is we think differently. In order for us to get to the same level that other people get to, we have to take a different route. So our default thinking is non-status quo. So if that's how we think, if that's our framework, that is what we like. We don't like people who aren't going to challenge us mentally because we don't get better. We don't. And like I said before, it's not so much that non-black women or the white girl are doing a better job at stimulating black men. I'm not making that claim. What I'm trying to say is, just because we are different, just because we have different backgrounds, there's this almost default intellectual attraction because there's things that I don't know about you. And like I said, it's not necessarily them. It's just more so where God said they were going to be born and how they're going to grow up. It is what it is. Right? The best conversations are some of the conversations that I have with my classmates. Not because they're, white girls or whatever, but because their viewpoints are so different from mine. So there's this intellectual attraction. There's this mental stimulation that it is what it is. And I would love to replicate that with black women, but I don't really think that enough of you guys understand that that's what we're looking for, mental stimulation. It's not about making him a sandwich or, pleasing him sexually. No, come on now. That's juvenile. Let's grow up. Like I said before, that whole Mandingo shit, that's the media shit. The real brothers, they're not buying into that whole Mandingo complex mumbo jumbo. Of course, everybody needs sex, but there's a time and place for it. Our lives aren't dominated by that. How can we be productive? How can we make it if we live on this die-hard Mandingo to the day we die type of philosophy? No, it's mental stimulation. That's what a lot of black men are looking for, good conversation. I don't want to sit down and watch CNN with my wife and not be able to have any real conversation. I want to go hard. I want to be challenged. I want her to have her views. I'm going to have my views. I don't want this whole, I have nothing to say, but let's talk about Tyler Perry or Oprah or Ebony Magazine. I don't want all that. I want a chick who can look at the ABC clip and break it apart analytically. Not sit there and agree and say, We're not looking for that anymore. We want thinkers. That's why I promote the whole idea of not subscribing to this whole black woman engine. Because it dumbs you guys down. It doesn't make you guys think. It doesn't make you guys problem solvers. It tells you, if you want a black man, do X, Y, and Z. Do your hair this way. Wear this clothes. You have to appeal to his sexual side. It promotes the whole idea of black men being sexual beasts. And nothing more, nothing less. So they have it all wrong. That's why so many black women aren't even warm. It's like, Marco Polo, and you're not even close. Because a lot of you guys haven't understood that it's mental stimulation that black men aren't necessarily getting. So you take it easy. Tell me how you feel. God bless.